told you, punk.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it. You. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it.
Hey.
Walk it like I talk it. 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 Walk it like I talk it.
Audio started. Check. We live. Everybody can say stuff up. All right, so welcome to the podcast featuring everybody. I'm your host, Berto, powered by Berto, Bertram, Juliet's son.
Ivana Renee _ homegirl in the city.
And right now we're about to talk about bag talk, right? So we got a bunch of people together that just want to talk about getting money in a time where everybody got a brand, everybody got a business. Are those the same thing? We don't really know. We're gonna dive in first by just letting everybody introduce themselves, starting on this side. And just tell us who you are, what brought you out, and if you got a bag.
That's
Wow.
The pressure's on. Okay, so I'm Byron Henderson. The reason why I'm here, powered by Berto. Berto's a great friend. He put together a good presentation, through his brand, parties, etc. It's amazing. And I got a pretty sizable bag that I'm looking to,
Tired of being humble,
So I mean, it's pretty sizable. We're gonna continue to grow on it. That's why we're here. I want to learn from everybody else so I can continue to grow my bag as well.
Hi. So my name is Bianca Janti. I am two things, right? So I'm a full-time employee over at Nielsen doing client strategy for advertisers. Also the co-founder of Minorities in Media Connect, and we connect professionals of color into the media industry, really trying to change the perception of people. We do have bags. With that being said, we're also building retainers. So that's the difference in terms of building longevity versus just something that's a quick sale.
Damn. Right?
She's lit.
You put me on the spot.
OD.
Didn't know we do the
I'm Josh.
Yeah,
I'm Josh. It's a good friend of this man right here. Just happy to be amongst the good people. We're not gonna talk about my bag,
but it's there though.
The bag is there. It's not 4 Super Bowl trophies in the basement bag, but it's bag. And I'm an investor, and I'm here for economic empowerment for the people.
Yeah.
Wakanda for life.
Wakanda.
Oh shit, damn. What's up? Gerard Anderson, photographer, creator, entrepreneur, and bag heavy.
What's up, everybody? Denzel Manqua, founder of Mo Better Eats, blogger, food blogger. My bag is alright. I like it. I'm comfortable with it, but it can grow. So we're gonna talk about how it can.
Hey, Shania Phillips. So also two things, maybe a little bit of three. But basically I'm a connector for young black professionals in the state of New Jersey. One by Brunch, which is Brunch and Grind. We host network and brunch parties for young black professionals and millennials. And the second is Link New Jersey, co-founder and president. We host a bunch of various events, socials, networking events. But it's mainly just to connect young black professionals in New Jersey. And yeah, happy to be here in my bag. It's growing. It's here. It's coming. It's a calm situation that I'm trying to build and work on, but we're hopefully learning from some of these people in the room.
What's up, y'all? I'm Samuel Walker, 1/3 of the Perfect Cast podcast, and I'm also a member of Project Inspire Yonkers, which is a community organization in Yonkers, basically to inspire everybody in the community to experience more things that is available to them. My bag is pretty good. Just trying to multiply it. 1 bag to 2, 2 bags to 4. You know how that goes. So 2 to 4, 4 to 8.
What about the host bag?
I'm gonna be honest. My bag needs work. Humbly coming to y'all, I feel like we all have ideas, but in terms of monetizing them, it's not my full-time bag. I'm still accepting the white man's bag every second Thursday.
Every second Thursday. Really?
How's your bag?
So, like I mentioned, I'm powered by Berto. I run a outreach center for thick millennial women. Nah. I'm fucking with him. I'm joking. Nah, my brain. Nah. So no, what I do is just connect people and make people smile like that. So the bag is not really heavy because it's hard to monetize a personality as some of these people do without losing yourself in the process. So that's why I bring these people together to talk about things of that nature. And a big thing about that and ideas that flows through me all the time is, you got mad ideas. Everybody got 15, 20 ideas, but you don't act on them because what happened? They might not be able to monetize it. It might not be something. Well, the bag comes first. Sorry. So maybe solving a problem second, but the bag. If it don't generate a bag, we're not gonna make a business out of it. How do y'all define the idea that's just an idea and an idea that's worth bringing to a bag situation? Sit on that, stew on that.
Well, that's the first question.
That's the first question.
That's interesting.
How do you separate ideas versus potential bags? Because you know what I mean. Yeah, I might think I want to make popcorn tofu shrimp. What is that? Like ill?
Honestly, that's kind of that could be a bag.
I don't think you should.
That's not it, right?
I don't think you should necessarily separate the two.
Okay.
Because thinking too much will cause you to not act on something that could be a big moneymaker for you. So while you're saying, hey, what'd you say just now? The popcorn tofu shrimp. It may not be a big moneymaker for you, but you got to realize a lot of people are turning vegan now and not eating meat and looking for alternative to things that they grew up on. So now popcorn tofu shrimp has an avenue that a lot of people will go down because they want that feel, they want that taste. So
so would you say you acting on every idea that pops in? Like
no,
them 3 a.m. ideas be sounding real lucrative until 7 a.m. You're like, oh, I'm bugging.
It does, but it's difficult to really put into words exactly how you feel. It's a feeling that's internal that you really know. If it's something that's going to make you money or something that you're even passionate about, because sometimes that's more important than the bag, and the bag will follow if you follow something that you're actually passionate about. So you find something that you're passionate about. It may be a 3 a.m. idea, or maybe something while you're at work. Like, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to be here no more. What can I do to make bread so I'm happy? And that could be the moneymaker for you, or it cannot be. So I don't think thinking about it in a sense of, all right, this is just a passion project. This is a moneymaker. Let me go to this way. Let me go to that way. I think you're going to set yourself up for even more failure going that way.
Yeah. Piggyback off of that. Interestingly enough, if any of you have seen the Chris Rock special that he just did with Netflix, he was talking about how he would go to school with his kids for orientation, just hear people lie to his kids, and just tell them like, you could do anything, you could be whatever you want. And he said that's not true. He said you could be whatever you're good at. And if they're hiring, was the punchline. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was a pretty interesting and to me personally a profound thing to say because, you know what I mean? If you think about turning an idea into a bag, are you good at that idea?
Right.
And if you're not good at that idea, do you know someone who is? Or you just, which is fine. You brainstorm and come with ideas. Oh, that sounds good. But all these good things, out of the 15 good things you came up with, how many of them are you good at? How many of them do you know somebody who's good at this? Who could turn that into a bag? I think that's the difference between acting on it and just thinking about it. Are you really good at it? Are you exceptional at whatever you're thinking of? Do you know someone who's exceptional at it? And then from there, you can continue to grow it and build it up.
And high key, people will tell you where the bag is at too, because people love to complain. And then there's always facts in every complaint. Like they say, there's truth in every joke. There's facts in every complaint. So filling a void is usually the best way to get a bag, right? So we talk about all the time. People always want to be in the mix. They want to be lit, but there's just as many people who just kind of want to do some chill, let me just catch a vibe type situation, right? Next thing you know, you got Powered by Birdo, right? You might have people in New Jersey, for example. Damn, I'm tired of having to go to the city every 2 days to go find the mix. Like, I wish there was something I could do in Jersey. Oh, now all of a sudden you have Lake, New Jersey. Now there's events everywhere for whatever you're trying to do, And then that's when I think the piece about finding what you're good at comes into play. So you hear enough, you actually put it to work. You think you can make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and it's funny, I didn't really start either one of these businesses to secure the bag. When I first started thinking about Brunch and Grind, when I first started thinking about Link, New Jersey, it was never to make money off of it. It was legit because I saw a need in the state of New Jersey, and I was like, look, people need more things to do here. People need more opportunities to connect. So for me, even now, it's not really about making money off of either one of these things. And I know it's kind of like a negative too, because like Shay, like you're putting all this energy and effort into these things that you're doing, you should be worried about the money. But for me, it's really, I benefit from seeing just people enjoying themselves and like people actually making these connections, people finding people connections to make a job, or you know, just different things like that. So I do think it's like a passion thing, and just really enjoying what you do, and that is, especially for a lot of us, we have full-time jobs, so I think these side hustles, you have to be passionate about it. So I mean, if you're chasing money, most of the times you're not going to be happy, and so I think it's also about being passionate about it.
And, I don't need to keep talking, but well, I do.
Keep talking.
I do.
Get your
But,
bars off.
You know, even just going back to the original question, you know, what to pursue as far as a moneymaker or not. You know, sometimes you pursue something that you don't intend on being a moneymaker, and you find your moneymaker doing that event or doing that venture.
Right,
So again, I feel like it goes back to, you know, feel, and then back with Byron, right? Back with Byron said about, you know, either knowing if you're good at or knowing somebody that is good at it, so you can even sell the idea. You know, there's so many different ways that you can get across your idea and securing that bag, you know, without actually thinking, is this a moneymaker or is this not? So.
So in terms of getting started with developing our bags, our side hustles,
Our passion projects.
our businesses, how do you guys find like collaborating, whether it's with homies, friends, outside parties, like how does that work?
Like, what's step one of the legwork?
I mean,
I'm just trying to get y'all secret sauce so I can go back and work on my shit.
Tired of being broke, so help.
jump in. I think that I don't necessarily think that there's a secret sauce, right? I think that there is very much so intention. You have to think about yourself working full time, right? Everyone has had like a terrible boss. And I think I just said this the other day, like a lot of my worst bosses taught me how to lead. What are the things that they did not do that I can do better as I have a team or I have other people that I want to learn from, right? So when you have that, like, all right, cool. If I can be clear about what the mission is, what the vision is, what all these different things are, I can be able to articulate that over to like all of my counterparts and et cetera, et cetera. I think that being clear about what it is that you need. A lot of people just like, yeah, I fuck with the vision, fam, let's build. Okay.
What?
Like,
let's link.
It's just very, like, it's very vague, and it just shows that you don't know what you want, but you want something that you have, and you want something that is just like, I have to do more work to actually like give over to you, versus just like I need a photographer, I need a social media manager, I need a videographer, I need a salesperson. Like being very specific, I think that being intentional about what your needs are, I think that is what a well-curated team is, because it shows focus, it shows discipline, it shows that you've done research to figure out what it is that like you need to actually execute your business. I know for me, for multiple projects that I've done, like I've had to be like sitting here with the I eat ass face, like just looking like, damn, like I know I need to work on, I know I need to help on something, but I just like, yo, like especially when you job hunting, right? That's the perfect time when you stressed out, like, yo, I just need a job, I need money, and you just like, and it's just like, okay, well, what kind of job do you want? I don't know, but I need money. Like you just be stressed out, and that's probably one of the worst responses that you can give to anybody, because you'll get anything back, and when you get anything back, you be over here sitting here unhappy with all the outcomes that come over to you because you weren't intentional about what it is you need. So when you say those things like, all right, you know what, I need these very things, I know that this is a good person, you know what, this is my finance person, let me talk to him about this, you know what, this is my tech person, this is somebody that knows cryptocurrency, let me talk to him about this, all these other things, you start to actually get the results that you need. And I think that is what makes you a respectable leader and somebody that wants people to work with. You take the things that you know over at your jobs. Like, I think that people always want to, Instagram got everyone fucked up and just thinking that you can kind of just like jump into entrepreneurship without some sort of strategy or plan, right? Like, I know for me, I'm not ready to jump in just yet. I'm on the edge.
You doing skits?
No, I'm over here. I'm over here sexy walking over to it. But I'm like, there are things that I kind of want to learn in terms of strategy and client strategy for larger corporations that I don't have exposure to, right? So if you're over at your 9 to 5 right now, why don't you go over and just understand what is it, the things that you're learning? Why are you there, right? Like, why are you there? What can I learn from? How can I apply that to my side hustle? Then share that with my team. Everyone always wants knowledge. Everyone always wants information on how they can apply that to your dreams, because your dreams is not theirs, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's very much so being disciplined about what it is that you want, bringing it back full circle because I talk too much. What it is that you want, how you can lead, and how you can actually help somebody else propel their dreams so they can kind of be invested in you too.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's something that Tim Grover, who is the trainer of, he trained Michael Jordan, he trained Kobe Bryant. So he has multiple rings, like obviously from the Jordan days in Chicago, working with the Lakers. He has, a ring for every finger, right? Mm-hmm. One thing that he said that was really, really, really interesting to me in one of his interviews is that find somebody that's as crazy as you. Mm-hmm. And he says that a lot of people tell you, find a balance, your yin and your yang. If you're crazy to this capacity, find someone who's calm to that capacity to balance it out. He said, no, find someone who's as crazy as you. And the reason why he said that is because when he worked with Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan is performing at a level that's way above everybody else in the league. He's one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, right? If he found somebody that was down here to his here, that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. He needs someone as crazy as him. He needs someone who's going to wake up at 3 a.m. to get a workout in, get some food, get some energy, go back to the gym by, 9 a.m. That's the type of people that you want. And as crazy as it may sound, if they're not as crazy as you, then they probably can't help you. Because you're gonna, you're gonna be too much for them. And then when you think about that, it's not like, I need someone who can like egg me on to do some wild stuff. It's somebody that's, as crazy as you and as passionate as you about what needs to be done. So Tim Grover, he wrote a book, Relentless. Like I said, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Like listening to him, that's all I needed to hear. Like if this man is talking about that, like basically find someone as crazy as you, I feel like that's a viable option and it's something that you could build on in terms of collaborators. Absolutely.
I think especially getting somebody that's as crazy as you about what your weaknesses are. I think that for us, sometimes we have ego that kind of like sits in the way of just like, I could do everything, I'm lit, like I could do all these things. But like the reality is we're human. Like we're not good at everything. So I think that if you can get somebody that's just like as crazy as you as something that is just like not your strong suit, that's a powerhouse. That makes so much sense. I love that. I love that point.
Yeah, you're like a whole bibliography. You got all the content, like all the all the interview notes.
The citations, right?
Citations.
Shit fire. Yo, that's the sign of a well-read man.
Yeah.
What I want to jump into, you said it, and I'm kind of thirsty to jump into that. How Instagram got everybody thinking they could be an entrepreneur. Gary V online gassing everybody. Yo, quit school, quit your job. Yo, if you run out of toilet paper, go make your own toilet paper. But in a time like right now where everybody is young, they get the corporate bag that they could, have enough bread to splurge on a little idea and put some bread to an idea. You got a photographer right here. How many people get their corporate bag, buy a DSLR, and now they're a photographer?
Right.
How many people get their corporate job, get a little bag, buy a camera, and then go to brunch, and now they're a food blogger? right? So it's like, yo, how do you differentiate yourself in a time where you're not like everybody got enough bread to start? Who has the bread to finish?
Ooh,
like, how do you differentiate yourself? I'll let y'all, if y'all want to dive at that first or whoever.
Look, man,
but how do you differentiate yourself in a time like right now?
Talent and effort and consistency speak for themselves. That's it. Everybody can walk into brunch and have a camera, but at the end of the day, when all those pictures get posted, whose joint was the illest?
Stop filtering my man's shit,
yo.
yo.
It's really, real talk. It's consistency and just dedication to it. That's it. Like, if you really want it, you're going to get it eventually. That's actually not even true. To be real.
Yeah.
Let's go back to who's that? You said that before? Something like a lot of people, like, knowing what you're good at. And, that's not true. It's not for everybody. Not everybody. Some people will pick up a camera and really want to be a photographer, but they don't need to be a photographer. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, if you really do relentlessly love something and you care about it and you do have the talent at it and you stay consistent with it, like, it'll pay off in time.
I just feel like a structure is the most important thing. I feel like a lot of people jump into whatever craft they're in, they just have, like, a vision. They don't really have, like, a vision on what steps they need to take to get there. So I feel like just having an overall vision, like what you want, and like planning it out, and not just like then you gonna throw something on Instagram like, oh, people's gonna book me. It's like egotistical to think that way. So just have like a marketing plan, a sales plan, like how what differentiate. Yeah, damn. I'm lit.
I'm lit.
Calm down.
You better talk
switch
that up.
Yeah, you feel me? But what makes you different? I guess. I mean, not use words I don't know to say. But like, what makes you different, and like just like structuring yourself, and just having a game plan before you jump out there. So yeah, I feel like that's a big mistake. Now people don't have like actual structure in it.
We was just rapping about that yesterday. You was like, yo, there's a lot of photographers that don't see the light outside of Instagram. Like, you got all these pics.
It don't get past Instagram screen. I mean, like some people's cool with that. I mean, some people just like to have pretty photos, whatever. But I do it full time. Like I need a bag. Like I got rent to pay. Like, I can't tell my landlord like, yo, I got hella likes though. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, so
likes ain't Bitcoin.
Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah. Likes ain't Bitcoin yet.
To your point, I love working with JD. Like, that's my bro, for real. And then we always book him for him because of the fact that he's consistent. Especially with creatives, it's so hard to find creatives that are consistent. And I think that not even just creatives, but that's just across all business. Everyone, like, that's a starter. I think that was even something I wrote in my journal, like, damn, don't be a starter and not a finisher. Like, that's just something that's just like, it freaks me out because you never want to be the person where it's just like the what if or the wannabe or like the faker or the funker or whatever the case is. But like, I think that strong ass perp. But I think that the biggest thing is being able to just follow through, follow up, all these different things that it's just like things that you don't necessarily need to be taught. You just got to do it. Like, and that's what's going to keep you in business. And especially when it comes to a creative field where it's just like everything is Instagram and Pinterest and visual aspects, all that stuff. Like, it's just like at the end of the day, like, yo, where my pictures at? All right, cool. I need to send this over to corporate. Like, you want this corporate bag? I need this corporate consistency. Like, what we doing right now? Like, these are very different things. Right? You have to operate in a level where it's just like it's not feelings, it's facts. Like, we need to figure out like how do we make sure that this is a retainer? How do we make sure that there's a system in place? Like, if there's one thing that I knew that I needed to figure out how to do, and I'm still figuring out in certain aspects, is how do I build systems to when I'm not accountable for myself, because willpower ain't enough. It's just like when I don't feel like doing it, how can I make sure that this shit's still moving? Because I think that that's the biggest thing that keeps people in business. That's it.
Bomb drop.
So as we've been growing and as you've all been growing, what are some examples of growing pains? Like working with other people, working with yourself, understanding your own business.
I was just venting earlier about growing pains. Like, I think when you're in like a people-based business, may it be like an event or business or people-based, but like a hospitality-based business, then like people, brunches, things of that nature, the biggest issue is scaling, I think. And you see so many organizations, I'm calling them organizations, young professionals that's trying to get it back. You see many people going through the same issue. Like, as you scale, the experience goes down in many cases, and you're just like, yo, what can I do to have everybody feel loved, right? And I'm like, yo, I give y'all all my number so y'all can all text me, but y'all all text me complaints. We not close like that. J. Cole said don't give him too much you, and I'm about to dud all this shit. So that's a growing pain for me as a social social entrepreneur.
Trying to merge the words.
Yeah, I was just trying to make some new shit so that we can get that. But like that's the biggest problem I have. I know some of y'all have like different businesses in different spaces, and y'all teams are bigger than much bigger than mine. I mean, where scaling come to be a problem for y'all? Because some businesses need more capital influence. Like, yo, y'all can't grow because I don't got no bag. Like, everybody trying to be cute. You're not trying to share your weaknesses.
I'll share mine. I think for me it's so I'm not in the social game. Like I like investments. I like tangible things. I like things I can touch. So I like real estate. I like stocks. I like boom. So not real talk. So for me, I think the biggest thing for me was fear. Quite frankly, you know, like a lot of times you might have a good idea and it might sound sweet. You might even bounce it off a couple people that you're cool with, and it's like, yeah, this is a good idea.
They gonna yes man.
Why haven't I done it yet? Got all the pieces, got all the people supporting me, but I haven't done it yet. Why is that? Because you be scared that shit might not work out. Then it's like, damn, now I look like a fucking shithead. I talk to mad people about my idea and then boom, boom, boom. But at the end of the day, like, if you really believe in something, you got to give it a shot. Like, what do you really have to lose? And that's what, so a couple of us who had lunch today, that's what we were talking about, right? Where, what do you really have to lose? You know what I mean? By putting yourself out there. If you really believe in something and you know you did the legwork, the numbers add up, what do you really have to lose? By putting yourself out
I feel like that shit is like going into a dark room. Like, the room could be empty as fuck. Yeah. Like, it's a dark room. It could be empty as fuck, and you like, y'all don't want to go in there. It could be $1 million in there. or it could be Jason in there. Like you don't really know what you have to lose, but your brain is telling you, yo, it's mad roaches and rats, the biggest possums in there.
Yeah.
But sometimes you really gotta go into that dark room and be like.
Well, but the social media stuff makes it tough sometimes too, right? Because you really be out here thinking everybody winning, so you have an idea you keep to yourself, and it's like
but they be lying.
Damn, like they all out here winning. Why am I not winning?
They glow up on the gram and then cry on their Snapchats.
Exactly.
And there's not really a shortage of.
That just happened.
Call them broke. I completely agree with that. I feel like there's not really a shortage of good ideas. I think so many people have good ideas, great ideas, but there is a shortage, or there's a space for executors and doers, and I think that's where the difference lies.
I think for a while for me, like even before I started my blog, I was kind of hiding what I was doing. Like I started off doing just simple Yelp reviews, and I was going like in depth.
You a master Yelp review.
You're one of those.
Mad free meals
I was
on
going to
Yelp.
people.
Yelp like the white women.
Breadcrumbs. You also eat breadcrumbs with macaroni and cheese.
No breadcrumb slander.
I was going in and like I would say stuff like, "Oh, this meal was to die for," and then some of my bros started finding out, like, "Yo, you said to die for?" But I guarantee you, after that, Drake came out with a song where he said, "Them well done,
Them scallops, them
were
sheer
to
scallops."
die for." I was like, "See, that's popping now." That Drake said it, but I said that a month ago, and y'all was clowning me. So after that, I'm like, "Yo, need to trust in yourself. Need to realize that you got something here that obviously people are still checking for because they were still reading from top to bottom, whether they were laughing at to die for or not." You know what I mean? So get into Mo Better Eats and really start building that. I mean, you just got to get over that fear of you can't be too cool for school anymore, right? Everybody got something out here that somebody's gonna like.
Yeah.
It might not generate $1 million, it might not generate 10,000, but it's gonna touch somebody in a way that it's just gonna make your life better that way.
I think that's the biggest growing pain of all is just being, growing through the pain of caring what people think.
Exactly.
Like that's probably the biggest one because once you get to the point where you don't care what anyone says or how they think, then you know what I mean, the sky's the limit. It's because you're only accountable to yourself and you only care about, doing your best. Like if someone says like, "Oh, how could you say something like that? That's ridiculous. Nothing's to die for." Like, where do you think you are?
Right.
But it's just like, okay, you might not think that, but try it.
Go try it.
Go try it.
You be ready to die.
And then he died.
I die for this mac and cheese, but this shit fire.
With the breadcrumbs.
But I was like thinking about that. I'm like, yo, that's why all these dudes be making their businesses in basements with nobody near them. Like, yo, I don't need y'all energy, yo.
Right.
I'm like, yo, let me go in the basement and just build, son, because y'all be outside stressing me.
Yeah.
I think a big part of every business is a consumer, right? You gotta have your audience. You have to have who you selling to. And then we're in a time where people just like to slap black-owned business or some shit like, yo, support that. It's black-owned. It's us, son. Yo, go bang with that. And I'm like, if you're black-owned and your product is trash, I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you it's trash.
Absolutely.
If black owned
I'm
and your
not.
product is
Not.
trash,
Club.
I'm not rocking with it.
But you're not giving this PSA to white people though. Why are we throwing this PSA to black people?
Well, no. I can say this. Because look, if the colonizers joint is trash, then we just not gonna go, right? But if it's someone I know, if it's a black person, you come to me like, all right, here's a perfect example, right? So a couple weeks ago, I wear my do-rag every night, right? A couple weeks ago, I found this website.
Put the heck up. I wear my do-rag every night.
Right? A couple weeks ago, right, I found this website where this dude makes designer do-rags like Supreme, LV, Gucci, whatever you want. Boom. I'm like, yo, this is lit. I'm about to go on this trip next week and I'm trying to have my do-rag on fire, right? So I copped the do-rag. This is, I want to say like January, right? I get the email confirmation. All right, order went through. Bet. 1 week goes by.
2 weeks.
2 weeks goes by. 2.5 weeks goes by.
You know he taking it to FedEx himself,
no
bro.
notification, right? Boom. So I shoot the dude an email. I was like, yo, so can I get an update on my order?
Damn.
Right.
Week goes by. Nobody responds.
Wow.
Send another one.
We had a
Can I get an
now.
update on my? We got it a month now, so we're talking about like 2 weeks before the trip. Can I get an update on my order? Right? Nobody responds, but I get a phone call right? From some number I don't recognize. I don't pick up the phone if I don't recognize the number.
Right.
Boom.
That's real.
I get a text message like, yo, this is so and so and so and so and so
It said, yo,
calling
this
about
is?
your order. Yes, yo, this is so and so calling about your order.
Yo,
Right?
love us.
So I'm reading this. I'm like, yo, bro, so many things we got to fix about this, right? So I send them a text. I'm like, listen,
Brother.
I know you black just off the language you're using right now. First and foremost, I support you. I support small business. I still want my do-rag, but yo, you gotta clean up A, B, C, D, da 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 da. Cause like you can't. How long do you think you're gonna be in business like that?
Yeah.
What's
Collecting people's money and then not even giving them any type of update for 4 weeks.
Was the do-rag even silk?
Oh, the do-rag was fire though. Don't get me wrong.
Nah, it was fire.
Product was fire.
Yo, I was about to ask for the rocket and I don't even got shit. Product was rocket, hold that.
But look, so talking about one of the things I'm passionate about is black economics, right? So a lot of times the product in the black community is fire. When you talking about the do-rags, if you're talking about the restaurants, the soul food spots, like be great, but what's the part that's usually lacking? The service. Which is important, right? You need to have that whole
The thing
bag.
is I think that goes back to what we mentioned before about scale.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like it probably was a time when his service was impeccable. Like he responded to every email.
When he had 10
confirmations,
orders.
everything. Then his business expanded to the point where stuff started falling through the cracks. So it's like, in terms of your planning, you got to be able to, accept that mass volume either in stride or with grace in terms of like, hey,
Right.
we're receiving a lot of orders right now. Here's what's going to happen. You're gonna get your order. You know what I mean? Giving some type of updates, but like if you can't accept if you're growing and then like we talked about the scale, if that starts to happen and you're scrambling around, you're just one person or you're a team of three or whatever, you gotta be transparent. You gotta be transparent because that's what everybody wants the most, especially in the black community supporting black business. Is that like a lot of times, oftentimes. When you have those bad experiences, is because those business owners aren't transparent with you, and they don't think that we are going to be receptive to that, which sometimes we're not. And I think we all had a conversation one time about when what was it? Shea Moisture got purchased by Unilever, and there was an uproar in the black community about like how could you trade on you basically sold your business to da da da, and it's like like what you were saying about the you got to have the same outrage about when white corporations do you wrong, like when Sour Powers went from 50 cents to 75 cents. Nobody say nothing. Like, papi, let me get the strawberry joints. 75 now, papi. Like, bro, let me get a quarter. Bro, let me get a quarter. All right, there you go. You know what I mean? There's no outrage there. Like we just went with it.
Just take it.
But when it's our community, we always find a way to say, oh, that's not right. How could you do that? Da, da, da.
How could you do that
And
to a black
it's like a give and
Your
take.
people.
It's like either we're quick to get mad or the business owners are not being transparent. And when you have that experience where they weren't transparent, that's when you're quick to get mad on the next situation with the next black business. You know what I mean?
But even
yeah,
I feel like we still only ask for transparency from each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And even like as thinking like putting ourselves back in the business shoes and saying, yo, I want to cater to all markets. Like I'm pretty sure the person that was getting the Shea Moisture bag was like, yo, the hood is fucking with me. This is great. Yo, what can I give to Susie and Becky to get them trying to fuck with these curls?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to. The point of the bag is to grow the bag, not to sleep with it.
Right.
So like, what do you say to that person that's like, yo, I want to go into Caucasian, Asian markets, but still maintain our blackness at the same time?
That's where the team comes in. I'm sorry.
You got to start hiring them.
Well, no, just in general, I mean, people like black shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So
Black
you don't have to
sellers
change
love us.
anything. They're stealing our shit. It's to the point that they're stealing our shit. So as long as you stay yourself and your service is great, then the people are going to come. Because you're going to have the black people that are pro-black, support black business. They're going to fuck with you. And then the white people are going to see that black people are fucking with it and say, what's that? Okay, let me get in on it. And just to go back a little bit, what Bianca was saying before, as far as learning something from corporate. As far as learning something from corporate and being a black business, and a big thing is managing expectations. If you're in corporate and you have certain clients or whatnot, and you have deliverables, you'll tell your clients, hey, something came up. Not an excuse, but a general reason of what happened, and say, hey, I know this is deliverable by business day 5. We'll have it to you by business day 7. You know, managing those expectations with your consumers goes a long way. Because if you can say, hey, you know, I know you ordered this do-rag, it won't be ready by the 15th, but it will be ready by the 27th. If that's okay for you.
Easy as that.
Can work.
You know,
It was that. It's that.
You
It
can
sounds
work
so.
with it.
It sounds so
That- we can work
simple,
with that.
son.
Right.
But take out 500 emails, or even
Yeah.
not even
Right,
500,
right.
even like 15, and your regular job,
And
and
your DMs.
and your DMs, and you know your nails done, and it's a lot.
last
That-
thing I
that's
got-
what you
Nails done.
signed. That's what you
Don't
signed.
feel
All
ignored.
those things you're taking it personally. I think that's the biggest problem. We taking it personally. This is business.
Yeah.
This whole conversation is about securing a bag.
That's what you signed up for.
We
That bag
signed
don't got
up
no
to
heart.
make
For it.
money.
It don't.
If somebody is not complaining about your product or not telling you what you should be doing in X, Y, and Z, that's a problem because that shows that somebody cares.
Yeah.
If people stop fucking caring about your product, you're in trouble.
Right.
I don't care. Roast me, fry me up. Like, tell me what I'm not doing wrong.
At least you
What
put
I'm
some
doing, what I'm
energy in.
doing wrong at certain points, so then I can be like, I'm gonna be in my feelings for 5 minutes and put on John Legend and just be like upset. But then after that, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. So like, all right.
People
So
love
I guess we
complaining
gotta
about that.
re-strategize and figure out like, this is not what they want. And that's consumer research. You know how much money companies spend on research and consumer insight? Yelp,
All of
just understanding what the consumer wants.
Right.
Yo, you got a whole community like, yo, I'm not fucking with your pate right now. You need to fix it. Like, it's just little things like that, and we're getting that just off the strength that we believe in you. So I think that sometimes that's tough love, and we need to kind of reframe our perspective in that regard. We're in business. We're really like, I think that that's the one thing that is just like sometimes we take things very personally because it's just like we put our heart and soul to it. Like we up at 4:00 in the morning trying to, you know, make sure like a campaign makes sense, make sure contracts are clear, make sure edits are right, like all these different things. But we're in business. We signed up for this, and if we're not getting feedback on what we can do better, then we're in trouble.
That's one of the 4 agreements, right?
Yeah.
Not taking things
Don't take it
personal.
personal.
Not taking things
Yeah,
personal.
absolutely.
We're in
And-
business.
and to sum that all up, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
That's a testament. That's a gospel.
That's a word. That's a word.
That's a word.
That's a word.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Word. And speaking of
Well.
books, and now that we talking about books, I read a lot. And, I'm smart, educated. You feel me? But but on some real stuff though, I'm all about systems and automating the system. Like I don't want to work. Like I'm trying to. Like I like my stuff to make money, like when I'm asleep type stuff. And so, I went to school for business. I graduated my degree in marketing. And one of the best books I read by far is a book called The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber. And it's a great book, the best business book I've ever read. And The E-Myth, The Entrepreneur Myth by Michael E. Gerber. And quick summary, what he talks about is a lot of time is the big issue with these black-owned businesses is that they're still freelancers. They're not entrepreneurs. If you're the difference between a freelancer and an entrepreneur, if you leave and go on vacation, your business stops making money, then you're not an entrepreneur. You're a freelancer. Like you still got a boss and everything. If your stuff is not automated in the system, you have to physically be there, or you have to maintenance the system, then you're a freelancer. So the book basically talks about there's 3 positions that people need to cover in the business world, no matter what business it is. And I've had several businesses. Like this photography is my latest, but I've been in the business and they all failed.
Let it
Yeah, you feel me?
Don't matter. You
Not failed, but there was a learning experience. I wouldn't say they failed, but I learned a lesson. You feel me? I take them as nothing. Like I know, yeah, you feel me? It's a number game. But but the thing is, like all my business was all diverse. But the book really taught me that there's, like I said, no matter what industry, there's the three roles. And so the quick 3 roles is there's the worker, which is the person that's doing the daily oversee. So stuff like you, for example, the do-rag. The worker's the guy that's getting the email and saying, okay, we got a new order. He's the one that's sending the stuff out, whoever's the shit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You can bagging the work up. Then there's the manager who's making sure the payroll is straight, making sure the invoices are paid, making sure the money's coming in. They handle like the overall week-to-week operation. And then there's the CEO, and they're thinking about the future and how to expand it. And the reason these businesses are failing is because they're only covering 2 of these roles instead of all 3. And you need to make the business automated. And the business that we see that's like long-lasting and like just like popping, Apple, McDonald's, Google, Nike, Foot Locker, anything. the reason they're successful is because you can take their system and put it anywhere in the world, and they can have somebody fill in that role. You can be a McDonald's right here in Times Square and go to McDonald's in Tokyo, and the system's gonna be the same. It might be different workers, different language, different menus, but the overall system's the same. And so the thing is, you need to make your business able to be like documented and like step by step. That way you can hire somebody to take it, and you can step out. And eventually you get somebody to cover those roles. And a lot of times it's people who's taking on roles, they're trying to do everything all the time, and it's not going to work. Because like I said, I've done mad businesses and they all fail because you just can't do it over human. 24 hours, don't fall for the Diddy post, and like you said, Gary.
Don't fall for the Diddy post.
Diddy making it look real good.
Diddy not sleeping right now.
Diddy, what have you had
He haven't really depressed.
I love my sleep, bro. I love my sleep
right now.
He had 7 hours every night.
I guarantee you, Diddy sleeping. The reason he's sleeping is because he has systems that's set up in place, and he can teach somebody the system. They can take the work for him, and he's not over sending do-rags himself, whatever it is. He's not doing the emails and all that stuff. So set up a system. The email. That was a real, like I said, I'm lit, and that was a real quick summary. But
That's
great.
That summary was like, I don't even need to like.
I'm about to get this book.
I'm writing down some notes right now.
Yeah, Email by Michael E. Gerber. Yeah, great book, greatest business book ever read.
That's fire. So you was talking about like the 3 roles, right?